Good morning, everybody. I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer, and the winds changed, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom, and the moon rose, and the way was easy, and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom, and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang, and the sound was easy, and the song was clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and all our debts are clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. And peace spread over the land.
Good morning. Let's breathe that in. Thank you, Stephen, for that wonderful rendition. I love that song. I Dreamed of Rain, one of the J.D. Martin's classics. Welcome. Welcome to Inner Light Ministries Sunday service. I'm Reverend Deborah Johnson, and we are live streaming out of the Santa Cruz area of California. And let me say right now that I really appreciate the whole community does, all of the well wishes and the love and the prayers that have been coming in and pouring in for us. We're part of California that's been hit very hard by the fires. We have had a number of people in our community who have, in fact, lost their homes, thousands of people still evacuated. But we are very pleased that the first responders, the firefighters who've been just really putting it on the line, have done everything that they can to protect the city. So the urban areas, it looks like we've seen the worst of what we're going to see. The center is not damaged. And it's going to be a long recovery. You know, obviously things are going on with the hurricanes and a lot of things going on. But just to let you know, we're safe and sound in Santa Cruz, and we really, really appreciate that. You know, at Inner Light, we are an omni-faith ministry. A lot of people say, well, what is that? That actually is a term that I got from some of my ministerial students, actually decades ago, who had started a corporate chaplaincy. And I really liked it because that omni speaks to the breadth and the depth of faith. We're not so much interfaith. Yes, we do honor various religious paths, and we have a lot of interfaith colleagues and collaborations, but it isn't about religion. It's about faith. And wherever that faith is, and however it is that you get it, some people are very earth-based. Some people get it, you know, kinesthetically. Other people get it through sacred text. It doesn't really matter to us where it is that you get it from, but where do you have that place of connection? And what can we do as spiritual community to make sure that we stay in that place of connection and that we feel connected to each other? At Inner Light, we stand in that and. We stand in that and between the sacred and the secular, between science and spirituality. You can march and meditate. It's important that we do the whole breadth and depth of it. And we're here to get the chops up. We're here to develop the spiritual tools and the know-how to be able to practically apply universal spiritual principles to all of life's circumstances. If you tune into Inner Light, you hear us say that all of the time. And when I say all, I mean all. That the same principles work in your house and the White House. The same principles work regardless of whether it's economics or whether it's a health issue or whether it's a relationship issue. It's all the same principles. So in the inner, so in the outer, the macro, the micro, there's not a different gravity for a rocket ship than there is for a tennis ball. It's all the same thing. And part of our charge on the spiritual path is consistency. Is how to use what we know wherever it is. And not to get to the point where we say, well, this works over here, but it doesn't work over there. It's got to work everywhere. And right now, the heat is up in terms of our body politic, in terms of our collective health and consciousness. We are still in the middle of the COVID pandemic in the United States, and I say the United States, particularly in the middle, because we don't seem to be moving a whole lot. Um, but it's going on, globally in the world. There's so much that's happening right now. We just got through with the Republican convention, which was preceded by the Democratic convention. We're in the middle of our electoral politics. There's a lot going on. So many people still staying in, trying to homeschool, work from home. If they can work at all, get a job. There's just a lot going on. And in spite of all of that that seems to be going on in the outer, remember there's only one thing going on, and that's life. That's life. And life being life. And life is not dwarfed by any of these other things that are going on. So we come here to remember. Come here to remember. And I invite each and every one of you, regardless of where you are or when you're listening to this, listen to it again. Share it, like it, pass it on, for truly we are here for such a time as this. I'm so pleased to have as our musical inspiration Mr. Stephen Walters, who also resides here in the Santa Cruz area. Just an exquisite songwriter, musician, just this tender touch and funky as he can be. And I love me some good funk music. So he's going to grace us with some of that, I know, before we close out this service. And on pulpit with me today is one of our practitioners, Ron Goodman, who will help us to create sacred space here, give us an invocation, and he will also share our affirmative activations with you. We do these affirmations all the time, and every week they are always exactly 100 words. You'll see them on your screen. Please use them throughout the week. They're not just empty words. They're words that will shift your energetic frequency. They will shift your vibration. And if you stick with any of the single affirmations and shift the way that you put your emphasis on it, I promise you, you'll get a different activation every time. It could even be something simple like, I am a powerful spiritual being. I am a powerful spiritual being. I am a powerful spiritual being. I'm a powerful spiritual being. Every time you shift the emphasis a little bit, something else like clicks in the consciousness. Okay. So don't just take these for granted. They are here to shift your frequency, and they also are action steps. We like to do stuff, and these give you steps of things to do. So please, Ron.
Please take a moment to go within and be silent and listen for God's word. God, we know you are with us right here and right now. You are all powerful. You are infinite in who you are and where you are. And as children of you, sweet Spirit, we all are one with each other. We are the family of God. We know this to be true. And we know that as we accept you as our leader, accept you as our divine spirit, and who started this all and who bring us all here, we stand in gratitude. We know that you shower us with your love. We know that you guide us in our life path. We know that you are always here for us. And as we do the divine dance with you, knowing you are leading the dance, we know we can move into our own powerful magnificence. I say a word today for Reverend Deborah L. Johnson, who will bring your word to us in her way of power and love and acceptance. I say a word for Stephen Dede, bringing us the music in his way, his gentle and loving and warming way with some fun stirred in. And I say a word for everyone here today who helped put this presentation on. And I also say a word for all of you out there, all of you who are lighting up by tuning in and allowing God's light to enter into your being and radiate it back out to others. That way you can all be bringers of the light. And I stand in gratitude for having this connection with all of you and with God and with everyone involved here. I stand in joy and I stand in love. And I release this prayer right now to the universe, to the infinite greatness of who you are, sweet Spirit, knowing that you always are the wind under our wings. And so it is. Amen. The theme for the month is community, and the topic is outrageously magnificent. Our affirmative activations, for those joining us online, you will find the activations and statement of purpose on your screen. Please read along with me. There is more to us than we will ever know. Our potential is more than we can ever fathom. Every day we become more aware of just how divinely magnificent we all are. We have power and presence, possibility and purpose. We love unconditionally because we choose to forgive without ceasing. We allow ourselves to shine no matter what is going on. We cannot be coerced or into confusion or condemnation. We never dim our own light out of protection or protest. We exercise our freedom to see clearly and our right to be compassionate. We affirm the innate goodness of every person, including ourselves. Please read along with me with the purpose statement, which is also on your screen. Inner Light Ministries is an omni-faith outreach ministry dedicated to spiritual transformation. We provide tools for living that encourage the practical application of universal spiritual principles to all of life's circumstances. Our aim is healing through the energy of love and the revealing of our own inner light. As an omni-faith ministry, we embody spiritual oneness, appreciate individualized expressions, and honor all paths that lead to truth.
I had the realization some years ago that there were quite a few people in this life, a lot of people in this life, that I needed to apologize to. Too many to contact. So, like a lot of songwriters, I thought I'll just write a song about it. Just want to say I'm sorry. Sorry I forgot that your face is the face of God. Could have called you on the phone, could have written you a letter. I know I waited way too long. Hope you'll accept this song. Better late than never. Now my eyes are clear, and it's clear that I was wrong. Strange how things appear. I thought my anger made me strong, and I want to say I'm sorry. Sorry I forgot that your face is the face of God. I can see your eyes, and they're looking back at mine. It's so good to see you. You know I love to see you shine. Can you hear me say I'm sorry? Sorry I forgot that your face is the face of God.
Thank you, Stephen. Let's just take that in for a moment. Take a breath. Our theme this month has been community. And my topic today is outrageously magnificent. Outrageously magnificent. We are greater than anything that we can possibly imagine. You hear me say over and over and over again that we are not nouns, we are verbs. Let that sink in for a moment. You are a verb. You are life in motion. You are life in motion. Life is happening as you, not just to you, but as you. And collectively, there is so much more about us than we can possibly ever know. The last word has never been spoken. The past can inform, but the past need not be the precedent for your future. Just let that sink in for a moment. If we allow the past to be the precedent for our future, then the ceiling's already there. Then we can never go beyond what has already happened. That's the big danger that we have sometimes when we rely too much on probability theory. Probability theory is based upon statistics. It's based upon what has happened in the past, and then it extrapolates that and projects it into the future. But it projects into the future just what has happened in the past. But we forget that there's possibility consciousness. See, what's probable isn't the same thing as what's possible. So where do you want to live? Do you want to live in possibility consciousness, or do you want to live in probability theory? And one of the insidious parts about the probability is that, statistically speaking, the miracles, the things that are outside the bell curve, the things that are outside the norm, aren't even counted because they're too far away from the standard, from norm. You can only be deviant so much. There's a standard deviation. But once you deviate too much from that, you're not even included in the sample anymore. So if you're constantly looking to the past, you're looking to the probability, then you're not going to see how miraculous things are. If you're looking at the statistics, you have a certain illness and you're looking to see, well, how long is the recovery period? Well, it says here the recovery period is, 4 to 5 weeks. What you're not going to hear about is the person that got over it in 4 days. What you're not going to hear about is the person that got over it in 2 weeks. Because it's too much of an anomaly, and it isn't included in the statistics lest you think that's possible for you. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that probability theory doesn't have a purpose. What I am saying is don't let it dictate. Don't let it dictate. It's good to have a sense of what's most likely to occur, but so what? There is nothing about my life that has been most likely. If you take a look at my life from beginning to end, there is nothing about my life that says it should have been possible. But what I know is true for me, is true for each and every one of us. We are greater than anything that's ever happened to us personally before. We are greater than anything and everything that's happened to everybody else before. Are you willing to be the first? Are you willing to be the first? Or are you willing to be the one to demonstrate the peace? Are you willing to be the one to demonstrate the power? Are you willing to be the one to demonstrate the outrageous abundance that is available for all of us? And don't take that too lightly, because too many of us equate love with sameness. The way that I know you love me is you emulate me, you act like me, and the way I know you don't love me is you don't emulate me and you don't act like me. So we make these little agreements sometimes to live in a certain degree of mediocrity so we don't rock the boat. To live in a certain degree of mediocrity that says we're all going to stay like right here forever like this and don't break out, lest somehow or another that is a betrayal to us as a family, to us as a culture, to us as a whatever. But are you willing to be outrageously magnificent? Are you willing to grow? Are you willing to transform? Are you willing to forgive? Are you willing to move beyond everything that you ever dreamt was possible? Life is just saying yes. We're the ones that set the boundaries. We're the ones that set the limits. The universe doesn't go, well, you've only done country western all your life. No, we can't sing the blues. We can't do classical. We don't do that kind of thing. It doesn't exist. Whether we like it or not, anybody can procreate with anybody. Because as far as the universe is concerned, there aren't any boundaries around that in terms of what's possible. Now, I'm not saying that everything is possible is what you should do. There are such things as ethics and there are such things as standards. But what I am saying is that the magnitude of the fineness, the magnitude of the goodness, the magnitude of the greatness, the magnitude of the audacious, just power that you have doesn't have a limit. It doesn't have a limit. Your body temple doesn't have a limit on how much it can heal. Your heart doesn't have a limit on how much it can love. Your creative expression doesn't have a limit on how much it can create. Just breathe that in for a moment. Breathe that in. So we're in this election season right now in 2020. And it is hotter and more contentious than any election that in my lifetime. And without a doubt, perhaps the most important. Stick to the oneness. Don't get into the divisiveness. And this divisiveness that I'm talking about is beyond party politics. It's a matter of the heart, where we're othering and we're no longer considering ourselves to be one with people. If you want a democracy, you have to have difference. If there's only one party, it's not a democracy. The democracy is where you have the differences of opinion that are all coming together. They're sifting, they're sorting things out. And just because somebody doesn't think like you, just because they don't emulate you, that's no reason to other them. Breathe that in for a moment. We have to get over this thing that we're doing now about Democrat, Republican, because it's meaningless. Within the grand scheme of the world and the divine, it's meaningless. And let me tell you, when you look beyond just the stuff that's the outer clamor of the news, there's actually more unification going on now than I have ever seen in electoral politics. I mean, well, like, what news are you looking at? There are more people crossing over. There are like over 100 Republicans out there that are staunch Republicans that are now saying, vote for this Democratic candidate. Because they know that it's not about the partisan politics. It's about the goodness and it's about the vision and who's going in your direction. This may sound like a really weird thing to say, but I miss Republicans. I'm not really sure what's going on with the people who, this party that's calling itself Republican, but the Republican Party did not vote in this president. And the traditional Republican Party is not behind this president in so many different ways. But it takes everybody. I remember when we were in the big Prop 8 battle. Proposition 8 is the proposition in California that passed in 2008 that withdrew the constitutional right that the California Supreme Court had decided that same-sex couples had equal protection under the law and had the right to marry. So from June 2008 until the 2008 election, when Barack Obama was first nominated, there were marriages that were happening same-sex in California. Then Prop 8 passed, they stopped, and then there were all these court battles that went on. So it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the point of this is that there were two main people who argued the case against Prop 8, pro same-sex marriage, to the Supreme Court. And one of them was a guy named Ted Olson, who was this staunch Republican. He actually argued the case against Al Gore in the Supreme Court when it was trying to be decided about who actually won that election. And the LGBT community was like, what? Are you kidding me? You want this guy to argue our side in front of the Supreme Court? Are you kidding? He wrote a beautiful, beautiful piece called The Conservative Case for Same-Sex Marriage that got the cover of one of the Time magazines. It was absolutely exquisite. And he did a phenomenal job arguing that. But if we had gotten stuck on the fact that, well, you're this party and we're that party, we would have missed this place of alignment that we had where we could work together. You look for the places of alignment. That's where the synergy is. That's where the juju is. That's where our democracy, it's at its best. When we can come from the left and the right, and we can come from all these different places. That's one of the things that I really admired about my big spiritual hero in the world, Yeshua, or whom we would know of as Jesus. And the way that Jesus walked around in the world with this ecumenity, in this way that regardless of your background, regardless of your religion, regardless of your tribe, your nationality, regardless of your religious station, he treated everybody the same. And he considered each and every one of these people to be his neighbor, and said that we needed to love. This love is the agapeo love, which is a love that is beyond a feeling tone. It's a conscious decision. It's a will. It's a choice. It's a volition. It's a oneness. It's a oneness. He said, love your neighbor as yourself. Love your enemy. We forget that part about the enemy. He said that the greatest command was to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and to love your neighbor as yourself. So catch this now. If I love the Lord my God with all my heart, with all my soul, that means that I know I am one with God. And in that consciousness of knowing that I am one with God, I understand that everything is one with God. And that includes everybody else. It's kind of like algebra. If I'm one with God and God's one with everything and you're in everything, then you are one with God and then I'm also one with you. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that. But that's the crux of the spirituality. The crux of the spirituality is when we realize that there is this oneness. And this divine experiment that we have here in the United States, it's really extraordinary. In the second volume of my Letters from the Infinite series, there's a letter in there called the Governmental Trinity. And I want to talk about that for a little bit, because there's this way in which the three branches of our government parallel a certain spiritual truth. When you look at humanity, there are ways in which each and every person is like everybody else. No difference. That's the universal level, or what we might call the spiritual level. So there's some ways in which each and every person is like everybody else. Like concentric circles. And you come in a little bit more, there's some ways in which each and every person is like some other people. This might be like cultural things or social demographic things, affiliation kinds of things. Ways in which we're like everybody, ways in which we're like some people. And then there's ways, like even smaller, in which we are absolutely unique. Ways in which you are like nobody else ever. And I love the way that Spirit always operates like this, where because we are so much alike, we can share blood and body parts, and yet something as seemingly insignificant as your baby finger has its own print like nobody else's. Isn't that extraordinary? You have the whole forest, but there are no two leaves that are exactly alike. And yet they keep multiplying the same kind of leaves all the time. This way that this universe works is incredible to me. So what happens here in our three branches of government that tracks this? The executive branch. And this is the only office in the whole nation that everybody votes for. Anything besides that is always your local, your state, but it's the only thing that everybody votes for. And at the federal level, this executive level, this is the level that is designed to be the universal for all. In its design, it's not designed to be partisan. It's universal for all. So whoever's in that office is there for the good of everybody. The armed services are not partisan. There's not a Democratic army and a Republican army. There's not a Democratic post office and a Republican post office. Everything that's under that federal thing is supposed to be for everyone. Once you get there, that's your charge. That's your charge. And then you have the legislative branch. This is that where each and every person is like some people. So you have the Congress, you have these representatives who are there and they're coming, and everybody's voting for their district and their people and trying to work it all out. You got the urban people and the farmers and the coal miners and the clean energy and like all these things that are going on. Ways are like some people. And that's its job. That's its legislative job. Duke it out, work it out. And then you have the judicial, that ways in which nobody's like anything else. Part of that judicial branch is to bring it all together. The judicial branch doesn't make the laws. The legislative branch makes the laws. What the judicial branch does is to make sure that it's all working, so that if there's a law, but that law isn't playing out fairly for everybody, like your unique situation is being harmed differently, then it's that judicial branch that takes care of that. If there's some kind of way where you personally are out of alignment and you're breaking some kind of law or something, then there's a way that it can deal with you personally and the way in which you are out of alignment, where you can be prosecuted for whatever. But just think of this. Isn't this extraordinary that we have this system here that actually is mimicking something at such a beautiful, huge level? And I contend this isn't just about politics, that this capacity of ours right now to stand up for this experiment and to say we want to do everything that we can to protect it, we want to do everything that we can to preserve its integrity, is that if we don't do it, that at a deep fundamental level, politics aside, spiritually standing, it won't have any legs to stand on. You got to have a foundation. You have to have something to stand on that is solid. And this three branches isn't just built on otherness. I hope you can hear what I'm saying. It's not just built on this party or that party. It's built on an understanding of who we are. And we should never, ever, ever allow what's going on. Churches have been too silent in the past. They've been silent against wars. They've been silent against slavery. They have been silent about too many ills that have been going on in society. And it's not their job to shut up. It's their job to speak up. And we should never allow the people's house to be shanghaied. Ever. The White House is the people's house. It is not for any particular group. It is for all of us. And I ask you now, will you move beyond anger? Will you move beyond depression? Will you move beyond cynicism and stand up for what you know is our possibility? Because other people are dimming their light, don't dim yours. And if we're doing nothing but judging the ones who are judging, or doing nothing but hating the ones who are hating, it isn't changing anything. If you're afraid that some people are trying to control everything, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to control everything? If you're afraid that one party is trying to eliminate your party, are you trying to eliminate their party? What do you want? And I want to put out a challenge to people right now. Instead of just the pity parties, instead of just doing the prediction polls every day, trying to figure out who's going to win this election in November, will you take that time and put forth your dreams? Will you use your social media to paint the picture of the world that you want to see? Will you speak of the collegiality, the camaraderie? Will you speak of the civility? Will you speak of the compassion? Will you speak of the unifying forces working together? What happened to officers of the peace? When did we become law enforcement? Can we speak of that? Can we speak of what we want for our children? Can we speak of education? Can we speak of the graciousness with which we want to treat immigrants? Can we speak of how we want to handle elders and educate the children? Can we speak of how we want to make sure that everybody's healthy? Can those be the words out of our mouths? Can that be the place where we land in consciousness? Can we keep affirming and reaffirming our magnificence? Because that's what's going to turn the tide. Everything is energy. And it doesn't matter what the object is. Hate is hate. Whether you hate them, they hate you, hate is hate. And the energy of hate will take you down the path that you don't even want to go. Will you put your energy in the direction in which you want to go? Most people have already made up their mind how they're going to vote. Way long time ago. Now the battle is over the quote unquote movable middle. Well, let me tell you something. The movable middle, like whoever this movable middle is, isn't going to be moved by your hate. It's not moved by judgment. This image is coming to me now of a teenager whose parents are getting divorced. And there's an ugly custody battle that's going on now. Teenagers like 16, 17, getting close to their majority age. And the judge is asking the teenager which parent they want to live with. Trying to get a sense of what the kid wants. And the kid's looking at both of them tearing each other down. The kid's going to be placed, one or the other, or some combination of both. But the kid's looking at this and going, I'm not feeling this. This is not where I want to be. In the middle of these people tearing each other apart. That's where the movable middle is. Those ones that everybody's campaigning now and spending their millions and millions and millions, that's where they are. They're like, you know what? I ain't feeling either. This one's shooting this one and this one's shooting that one. I don't want to be shot. I don't even want to be in this. Vision, pain pushes until vision pulls. We're magnificent. Are you speaking of our magnificence? Can people tell that you have faith in humanity? Can people tell that you believe that God is God and not Corona or politics or the economy or anything else? Can they tell that? Are you living your life like there are possibilities that are greater than what's happened in the past? I'm not saying these things as judgment. I'm saying this to call you up, call you out if necessary. Up, out, it doesn't matter. Just answer the call. Just answer the call. The world, literally, the world's eyes are on us. The world's eyes are on us. You don't have to get into the fray. I'm not asking you to jump into the middle of anything. I'm not even saying you got to listen to the news. What I'm saying is listen to the divine. See beyond what you see. Now is not the time to become cynical or depressed, because that's part of the game. It's just to wear you out till you don't care anymore, so you don't show up. No. Now is the time for compassion. Now is the time for caring. Now is the time for connection. Now is the time for affirmation. Now is the time for believing in each other. Now is not the time for you to separate from your relatives that you don't like. I'm not saying you got to keep duking it out with them on social media, but can you keep them in your heart? Can you keep a vision that has you and all of the people that you don't like? Friday, there was a march on Washington, 57th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. And this dream, he's talking about, I have this dream of the opposition, the dreams of the slave sons and daughters of the slaves and the sons and daughters of the slave owners, the descendants coming together. Is that your vision? Or are you just trying to win? You just want to knock somebody out? Then what? We're all still here. We can do better than that. And that's part of the reason why we are here. Because everybody thinks nobody else wants them. And if we can move beyond that and just get to this beautiful place now. I'm you, you're me. There's only one of us here. Only one of us here. We breathe that in for a moment. Let us pray. We turn within in this moment to the inner chamber, to the secret place of the Most High. We stand here. We speak from here. Create in us a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within us. In this moment right now, I ask for forgiveness. I ask for forgiveness. All those times when I've been too self-righteous to listen. The people I've passed by and didn't take the time to care. For all the ways that I've fallen short, missed the mark. And I know that there's so much more. I'm not going to let the burden of that weigh me down. If there's any forgiveness in the universe, I accept it. To be free. Pray for the forgiveness of us all, for we know not what we do. So that we can be free. I pray to the divine by any name, the Holy of Holies, that infinite wisdom, that intelligence that's everywhere present, and makes the planet, makes us. I pray for the Adonai, the Pachamama, Mother Earth herself, for her healing from fires, and storms, and hurricanes, and earthquakes. May we be good stewards and truly love our mother. Do right by her. And I ask her forgiveness too. I pray that the waters be clean and the air be clear. That the food bountiful. No obstructions to distribution. Every belly full. I pray for health in the body temple. This extraordinary capacity we have to rejuvenate and to restore, to revitalize every cell and tissue and muscle and organ, every fiber of our being. I pray for our body politic, our economic body, our ethereal body, our mental body. There's only one of us here. We call forth the healing, the oneness, the reconciliation, the listening ear, the tender heart. Call forth the compassion and the caring, the sharing, the opening of our homes, our pocketbooks, as well as our hearts and our minds. We pray for people of all stripes, all walks of life, all ages, ethnicities, gender expressions. All needs met. All needs met. We pray for power and enlightenment, encouragement. I pray this serenity prayer. We learn to accept the things that we can't change. That we have the courage to change the things that we can change, and that we have the wisdom to know the difference. I give thanks in this moment for blessings too numerous to count, for way that just keeps opening over and over again, the way that seems to come out of nowhere. The opportunities, they're all there. Something is happening and it's so good, shaking us up out of our complacency and allowing our potential and our possibility to come through. Oh, may we align with the divine. Thank you for blessing this spiritual community and the way it continues to grow and to thrive. May its consciousness be multiplied. Not just trying to bring people here, but to take what's here out. We're touching lives everywhere. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Life is good. It's very good. We just get out of the way. And we allow that which is already perfect, whole, and absolutely complete to just be. And so it is. Amen. And amen.
I want to say I'm sorry. Sorry I forgot that your faith is the face of God. You know, something in my heart tells me love goes on forever. I know I waited way too long. Hope you'll accept this song. Better late than never.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen Walters. You know, you're one of my favorite songwriters. For real. Absolutely for real. And if you are needing some prayer, some personal prayer, there's all kind of things that are going on. Or even if you just need somebody to stand with you in agreement, then I invite you to call our prayer line, 831-465-9090, extension 254, or you can send us an email, the number 4 prayer at innerlightministries.com, and one of our practitioners would be more than happy to get back to you, pray with you. Don't go it alone. Please don't go it alone. This is our time of conscious contribution. This is our time to support. This is our time to say thank you. There are all kind of links that'll be there on your screen showing you opportunities to do that. And, you know, in this COVID environment that we've been in, that literally we are making it, we survive on the support of those of you who are participating with us virtually. We're an independent spiritual community. We're not part of any big denomination. And I want to say thank you to those of you who do give, and particularly those of you who give on a monthly or a regular basis, because that enables us to keep going. Just like when you're home, when you know that you have something coming in, you can plan and do your programs and do the wonderful things that you are trying to do and accomplish as a family. And so it is with us as a spiritual family. You can go to paypal.me/innerlightministries.com, and there are donate buttons, like I said, that are right there where you are. And a lot of us are doing shopping online right now. Amazon has a program called Amazon Smiles, where it will donate to the charity of your choice a certain percentage of your purchases. So you can just put Inner Light Ministries in as a choice, and any of your eligible items that gets calculated, and that's passive income. Some people refer to it as that, but it accumulates with all of the things that, in fact, are going on. And once you do it once, it'll be set, and you won't have to keep going back and putting us in. It will be in your account. There are some wonderful things that, in fact, are going on. There is a book club, a book study that's going to be starting. I'm really proud of our community. I've been a professional diversity trainer for many, many years. And we're obviously, by my message, very big on oneness and very big on tackling the big issues and doing our part, whatever that is. And dismantling the isms, particularly racism, is something that we really have to do, and that's really up right now. And I'm very proud of the members of my spiritual community who keep going deeper in that, particularly those, my white community members, who are taking on that challenge of really looking at those issues and seeing what is it that they need to do? What do they need to see? How do they need to grow? What is it that they need to learn in order to be able to show up better as allies, in order to use whatever powers and privileges that they have towards making a more perfect union? And we definitely support creating that safe space. We create safe space for groups to be able to do that deep inner work. See, not doing it under a microscope, and you can be free and honest about whatever it is that's going on. And we've done a number of books, and the next book that's coming up is a book called Me and White Supremacy. Me and White Supremacy. It's going to be limited to 10 people. It's not a drop in. You're going to go the whole time together. It is facilitated by a couple of our practitioners here, Vanessa Wilson and Patty McCarran. It got postponed a week because of the fires, but it is going to start tomorrow. It starts on August the 31st. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. That's Pacific time. And you'll see the information that's there on your screen. You can call 831-428-5426. That's 831-428-5426. Or you can go to vvwilson@gmail.com for information on how to sign up for that. Also happening tomorrow on the 31st is a virtual participation with another one of our very esteemed scholars in interfaith matters, Reverend Ann Forsberg. And this is called Spiritual Watershed. You can go to our website, go to our social media. It's a Zoom link that you can participate in. Our second harvest, we distribute thousands of pounds of food every Thursday. Come at noon. Come get some extra for somebody else who's not able to get out to the store right now. And on this Wednesday, on September the 2nd, at Rio Del Mar Beach at 6:30 p.m., that's Pacific time, we're going to have a prayer circle, on the beach. We'll be there through sunset, and I invite you to come. Bring a drum. We'll have bubbles, and we'll just have a good time there. And check us out. Check us out on Facebook. We're going to have some upcoming self-care tutorials that you can participate in from Levity Rising and Healing Arts practitioners to support us in navigating how to go through COVID-19 and these local Santa Cruz fires that we're going through. But like us, share us, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and we have some great podcasts that are going to be coming up for you soon. And I'm going to ask Stephen to take us home.
Here's a song from Kev Mo. You might slip, you might slide, stumble and fall by the roadside, but don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. Walk with the rich, walk with the poor. Learn from everyone, that's what life is for. But don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. Some say yes, some say no. Some people wait and see which way the wind gonna blow. But don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. Well, I might say things that sound strange to you. I might preach the gospel, but I believe it's true. Don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. You might slip, you might slide, stumble and fall by the roadside. But don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember, we're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. All right, thank you, everybody. So good to be with you.
Amen, amen. Stephen Walters, let us take this consciousness and multiply it. It's okay wherever you are. Shake your shimmy a little bit.